Stormwood Associates is a production of the Nerd and Tie Podcast Network. For more podcasts from actual play to true crime to witchcraft, go to nerdandtie.com or join our community on Discord by finding an invite at nerdandtie.com/Discord. In pursuit of a stolen magical object, Stormwood and Associates Field Team 623 stepped into a tear between realities and vanished. They found themselves trapped in another plane, facing a reality that was not their own, and driven to avoid dark forces they don't understand. And so, Team 623 finds themselves leaping from world to world, striving to put right what they find wrong, and hoping each time that their next jump will be the jump home. Stormwood and Associates stars Celeste Star Twin as Dee, Gen Proc as Obi, Trey Dorn as Amy, and Becca Johnson as Liz Stormwood. Previously on Stormwood and Associates, and maybe a pinch of the meat grinder, our heroes found themselves in a new universe that was seemingly darkened. They thought it was night when they arrived, and they discovered soon that they were in a version of San Ricardo that had been invaded by an extra-dimensional army. After a brief encounter being chased by a goblin on a large monster thing and a whole army of orcs, they were rescued by what appeared to be Kel O'Reilly from this universe, but was much more complicatedly Holokel. And by that, I'm combining Hollowell and Kel. A kind of twofer, because we're in a reality where Hollowell never was completely separated from Kel, and the two personalities both control this character, and they found themselves at the Resistance headquarters for the remains of a version of Stormwood and Associates, and that version of Stormwood and Associates included, besides that combination Hollowell and Kel, Pat Carpathia, a woman version of Bill Carpathia, Brent Slatebeard Stormwood of the Connecticut Slatebeards. And apparently this team also includes a version of Amy and a version of Raz, neither who are here right now. It turns out that this invading army is being controlled by an ambassador, a giant figure in silver armor who might be familiar in context for people who have listened to the first two seasons of The Meat Grinder. And we know that this invading army came in right at the moment in which this universe's Stormwood and Associates was about to defeat Hollowell. And, they brought a spare Babbitt along, who may or may not be originally from this universe. We don't know. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, they went, and because the truck is kind of stuck where it's parked, they retrieved a Stone of Trancura from the truck, and are somehow planning on using it to defeat the bad guys. That's what we think is happening, as far as we know. And so we resume our heroes at the warehouse headquarters of this version of Stormwood and Associates, having just gatewayed in, thanks to Hollowell, with the Stone of Trancura. So we have the stone. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Are we going to take down this ambassador? Are we going to do what?
I think we have to. This place is a nightmare.
Yeah. I was trying to get us discussing a plan on how to do that.
Right, of course.
So,
I mean, I could always just shoot it at her face. Would that work if I just bonk it on him?
I don't
think so.
No, that's not, and also, we don't want to break the stone any further.
Right.
We needed to get home.
Also, it might be too big for my slingshot.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
How tough is this shiny person anyway?
Well, Hollowell kind of turns around. I have seen the man explode people with the snap of a finger. We have attempted to destroy him, but unfortunately, he has an army. The problem is that I do not know the limits of this creature, this ambassador, because whenever we have tried to destroy him, we have not had enough time to sufficiently lower its defenses, because another 20 orcs show up, or it's suddenly arrows are flying at your face. Which, by the way, if you conquer a world that has guns, why are you still using bows and arrows? I do not understand this. They are insistent on not using our weaponry, which is, probably good for us, but confusing, at the very least.
They have an aesthetic they're going for, maybe?
Apparently. But we also did not have an object like the Stone of Trancura. In any of our previous attacks.
Okay, so how do we get there? How do we infiltrate?
You're thinking stealth in.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
And not arouse the suspicion of the army.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what we do know is that centrally, the ambassador spends most of its time in a couple of locations. Primarily, it seems to navigate between this, he walks over to the computer screen, starts pulling up a couple of maps and images. He primarily stays between this hotel that he seems to use as its primary residence. And then nearby is the San Ricardo City Hall, which is where the temporal anomaly, or whatever the hell we're calling this entrance he's created, it seems to open and close. And this is where their troops and supplies come through to our world.
We should go close it up.
Well, yes.
If only
That is
I
the goal.
had thought of that at some point. Whatever is controlling the opening and closing of this hole in the air, in this gateway, or whatever the hell it's called, whatever mechanism controls it, does not appear to be physically here on our side.
Gotta be kidding me. So, what? There's a thingy keeping it open, but not in this world?
Well, it does appear that it only opens when the ambassador is there.
Ah. So the ambassador is a one big shiny garage door opener. Got it.
I'm not how I would have described it, but not inaccurate.
Okay.
So what? We catch him when he's at the rift, and we use him to close it.
Well, it's, so, I mean, here's the thing. It's, if the rift is only opening when he's present, in theory, they would be cut off from troops and supplies if we were able to prevent the rift from opening again. Kel, clearly.
Yeah.
Nodding.
Yeah.
But I do not. Yeah, sorry, God, it's so hard to swap. Sorry. I don't think that we needed to do it while the gates open.
No,
In fact,
if we
that
just
would
get rid of
probably
the ambassador.
be the worst time to do it. If I just switched to Hollow. Yeah, so did he apparently. It would be ideal to take care of him while we were nowhere near the rift.
Okay, right. That makes sense. Okay, so we do it at the other location.
The Ruxley Hotel.
Yes.
The Ruxley Hotel, importantly, is also being used as a barracks.
Right.
So lots of orcs. Just Orc City.
Orcs, goblins, and elves. The elves are largely unarmed, except for a few wizards who are intermixed within their kind.
Great.
Now, the only thing is that there are several blocks between the two locations.
Oh, he doesn't just teleport?
He does not.
Oh! Okay. Okay, yeah, then we do it en route. That works. Okay. Yeah. What sort of resources do we have?
Well, okay, so look, we got a few vehicles left here. We got some guns. Obviously, we just acquired the Stone of Trancura, right? And Hollowell here, he can wield that thing something fierce. Now, I do not. So I must examine this with the crack. I have to figure out if the way you've been using the stone, you've been using it to open. You've been traveling with it. You've been using part of its, what we believe to be its intended function is opening up gateways. When we harness and use it for its other abilities, it requires more arcane channeling from the user. I need to study this real quick and see if any adjustments need to be made. Because I need to see if the cracks affect its offensive capabilities.
What sort of adjustments?
Well, whether or not, honestly, it's not the end of the world, but whether or not additional people must help focus the arcane energy through the staff, through the stone attached to a staff. Whether or not I can do it alone, or if I will need help.
Okay. And this would not affect the other uses of the stone?
No, it should not.
Okay, great.
The concern I have is that it is a risky proposition to ask anyone untrained in magic to help. The amount of arcane energy that travels through the wielder is tremendous. Someone who is untrained could risk. What is the best word? They explode. Yeah, they go pop like a big bag of blood.
Right.
Not it.
Yeah,
Definitely
no, it's
big
a
ol'
bad
not
it's
it.
a bad idea if for a non-trained person. And we got we got Pat, we got Bill, we got Amy.
We have Amy.
I honestly think we can just do it with Pat and Bill, but and Amy. Well, here's the thing. All right. All right. So it would take to focus a blast of some sort from this. It would take people and time. We have the wizards, I think, but to develop the charge, it may take us a moment. So what we would need is someone to occupy the ambassador and keep it from fleeing.
Okay.
And importantly, if the four of us were wielding the Stone Tranquil, we could not help you in that. All of our concentration would be driven to it. And in fact, we may need someone to defend us. Brent,
Much as it's
kind
not
of
my
like
favorite thing.
Brent walks out from behind a crate. It's like, I can do that. I can do that, Ignatius.
I don't.
I
don't know that
Brent,
you
know,
can.
it's I don't. Brent, you're very well intentioned, but I do not know if you would be capable of. He just looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no. I really
Well,
don't
no,
think.
I don't
think
understand.
you should maybe step back.
Brent, I believe your services will be best helped doing support here back at headquarters, like they usually are.
Brent, you will die. I'm just gonna be real with you. You I know you think you would be helpful, but you would die. You would cease to exist.
Oh, Becca, what happened to Babbitt?
Babbitt's there. He's just looking, just not. He's confused about this whole situation. Yeah. Oh, and Babbitt. Babbitt also is a wizard. If we need that.
Oh yeah, I forgot this Babbitt was a wizard. Was this Babbitt a wizard? I thought there was also
Yes.
a different wizard Babbitt. Wait, there was Pirate Babbitt?
They were all wizard Babbitts.
They were all wizard Babbitts. Okay.
That's why he was able to use that stone without popping.
I don't know, he could have been taking a risk. I think everyone's just kind of like, people are starting to just look at Babbitt.
What?
You could Pat's apparently been here this whole time.
Yeah, why not?
You could help with the plan that we've been talking about.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I can help.
Yeah, I think it's fine that nobody's mentioned Babbitt because I don't think Hollowell knows that Babbitt's a wizard now. I don't think that's been communicated to any of the new people. Or any of the people in this universe. If you could be so kind as to prevent our untimely death while we attempt to destroy the thing that is taking over our universe.
Of course. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, sure. Trust him. Totally a smart thing to do. Yup. He won't randomly murder you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Was that Babbitt? Or was,
Yeah.
Okay. It's important to. Yeah, he just like murdered people.
Whomst among us?
2 days ago.
Whomst among us? Honestly.
Hasn't murdered a nice guy who was letting us stay at their place, and then some other guy who was just an innocent traveler who just happened to be there, and yeah, I can honestly say I have not done that.
I'd say my body count has been pretty much entirely for this job.
Yeah,
and
I've only
two
killed
fascists from South
trying to
Wisconsin that I don't talk about.
I haven't tried to kill anyone. You hear from the next room. I only killed that one guy that one time, and I didn't mean to. That's Bill. Brent goes, I have killed no one ever. I have never killed anyone under any circumstances. At no point at any time have I ever killed a person or sentient being or I stepped on a bug once a few times.
And we're going to keep it that way. That's why you're here.
That's why it's for the best that you don't join us, Brent. Because you, the only person added to that body count will be you.
Hollowell just stands there and goes, I have killed many, many people.
Yeah, we know. We're very aware. We're aware, bud.
So, all right. Right now, the ambassador, as we have the feeds from the hotel, we know is at the hotel. There seems to be regular intervals in which the gateway is opened at City Hall. We are due in about 8 hours for him to open it again. We have, if his pattern repeats the way it normally does, about 30 minutes before that window opens, before that gateway opens, is when the ambassador will leave the Ruxley Hotel. That is our window. Now, a larger question is when we get there, we attack him. And I can prepare a gateway ward to get us back here when we're done, because while killing the ambassador while that may prevent more troops and supplies coming in from the other universe, that does not necessarily mean that the current occupying armies are going anywhere. It does mean, though, that we have hope and a chance of moving forward for our eventual freedom, because they will no longer have new supplies and new troops coming through. So after we kill the ambassador, we will need to escape. I can get us out, but we still have to make it through the city to get there.
I mean, to be fair, I'm one hell of a driver. Not to toot my own horn, but I kick ass at driving.
She does.
Oh, thank you.
I am also fairly proficient. We have several vehicles. All right, so it looks like what we're going to do is, pile into a couple of cars, drive across town, kill a guy, and hop back home. That's the plan? That's the whole thing?
It seems like it. I mean, obviously it's going to go wrong, but we'll deal with that.
We can cross that bridge when we get there.
This doesn't seem too easy to anybody else. Well, I mean, we did not have the Stone of Trancura before. I mean, the largest challenge is just going to be that, frankly, once we start the attack, support will be incoming.
Yeah, so we got to be quick.
The important is that we have to be fast. We must kill the ambassador before his armies arrive to kill us. That doesn't seem a lick easy to me.
If it makes the world less awful, I'm willing to do it.
All right. So why don't we rest up and then go kill us the trash can?
Okay.
All right.
Your days are numbered, shiny garage door opener.
All right. So you guys are, I'm assuming, going to rest up and get ready for battle? Or
we are going to rest up.
All right.
Yee.
So, all right. So we've got the main storm. We've got the field operations team 623, our heroes. That is 4 people. Then we've got out of the, just like doing math in my head here. All right. So we've got Holokel, Pat and Bill, and then Babbitt. Yeah, so it's 4 and 4.
Yeah.
All right. And Brent staying back at the base. All right. So yeah, it's you guys rest. Are there any supplies you guys are grabbing? I mean, obviously you have the gear that you brought with you.
I think just our gear. For me, just my gear.
Okay. Holokel, in the time, has constructed a staff to hold the stone so he can, direct magic through it without directly, holding it and burning his hand off. That's also long enough where multiple people can grab onto the staff. There are a couple of broken down, beat up. There are a couple of beat up vehicles that are there. He kind of, Brent and Pat are getting a couple of the vehicles prepped, making sure that they're fueled up and functional. At one point, they are reattaching the back door on one of the SUVs they have, and it's clearly not the original back door from this vehicle because the vehicle's black and this door is white. Yeah, it's a minor preparation montage then, and there are 2 SUVs that they prep to get ready to go. The locals are, grabbing stuff. I don't know what Babbitt's doing off the top of my head or how he's prepping, but yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting anything he needs ready.
Yep. All right. So, very exciting. The teams are, time passes and you start getting ready to drive across town. You are offered comms that are compatible with theirs, because you guys have been using the revised comms that NK built. Like that, Stormwood Associates adopted a new comm system after Paolo took over that was based off of the ones that NK built for the team in Morris Halata, which is what you guys have been using. These guys are using an older set of comm frequencies that aren't necessarily compatible with your current comms. So they're offering you comms.
Yep.
Obviously, you can, also keep your regular ones just in your pocket or something, but yeah. And then, so you guys are getting ready to go. I'm assuming that we're going to have the locals in one vehicle and the travelers in another.
Sounds good to me.
Would it be more effective to have the wizards in one and the others in the other? I don't know.
So that just moves Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, if you think that's
and maybe Babbitt. I don't know what side. I don't know what side he's going to be on.
Well, Babbitt, I was putting him in the home team camp for people for traveling.
Okay.
Where is the rules on this? Okay, so here's the thing. So you guys are going to have to drive across the city. Get his tight.
Pardon me.
Right.
Came up.
So you guys are going to have to drive across the city. So I'm going to assume that both of our drivers are going to try to get there by driving casually, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So what I'm going to need is there are a number of people you need to make it by. So I need you to roll me your drive casual roll, which is a 1d10 plus your level.
All right. Boom diada. 6. Oh dear. 8.
Okay. 8's not a terrible score, Hollowell critically succeeded on his. So that truck's not going to get noticed by that SUV's not going to get noticed by anybody. But so what's going to happen is that as you drive through the city, there are various groups who are kind of moving through it. And what I'm going to be doing now is making rolls for them. If you want me to roll an 8 or lower on these dice.
Okay.
Because this is as you're traveling through the city, different groups of soldiers are moving through. There are elves. So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll to see if anybody notices you. And then I'm going to roll to see how bad it is that you've been noticed. Whether or not you've been noticed by some elvish civilians who are, still bad guys, still working for the bad guys, but just might be moving between locations. Whether or not it's just a handful of orcs who notice you, or whether or not you're dealing with a large crowd. And you and Hollowell took slightly different routes, so all you have is the 3 of you to deal with this.
Gotcha.
The first roll was a 10, which means we're going to find out exactly how bad this is for you because someone has spotted you.
Oh, dear.
All right. So you guys are driving down a street, and a goblin and 2 orcs literally walk directly in front of the vehicle. Roll initiative.
Damn it. Okay.
11.
12.
8.
Oh, that's bad because the driver only getting an 8.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a really...
No, it's it's all right. That one's going there, and then the last one he rolled poorly, so he's gonna go last. All right. So literally, this is two orcs and a goblin are walking across the street. There is the SUV that D is driving headed straight for them. The first orc actually reacts pretty quickly because they got an initiative of 13, and just raises a crossbow and takes a shot at the SUV. So I need to so what's your dodge, D? Because the vehicle always gets the driver's dodge.
Okay. Yeah, is that swiftness plus level?
Yeah, just your swiftness plus level.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so I gotta beat a 7. I do.
Biscuits.
All right, so they hit the vehicle. Okay, I gotta check the combat rule. Okay, when the dodge the driver, the weather car's damage is then determined a 50-50 coin flip. So, all right, so he took a shot at the vehicle. I'm gonna roll this. If it's an odd number, you're hit. If it's an even number, you're hurt. If you're fine. If it's odd, you're hurt. The vehicle's gonna take damage, and if it's even, the vehicle won't take damage. It is odd. So the vehicle, I got to mark this down. SUV takes 1 damage. Yeah, because I think a vehicle can take 4 damage. So it's right now that bolt went right into the radiator. Obi, you're up. There's a sunroof, and your window can roll down.
Mm-hmm. I'm just... Can I... Are the antagonists facing my side of the vehicle?
They are literally directly in front of the vehicle. Like, this right now, this car is driving straight at them.
Okay.
So you could lean out the side of the window, or you could go up through the sunroof.
Can I go up through the sunroof and bullshit at them?
Okay. I'm not saying no, but I need you to walk me through this.
So, Obi's an orc.
Right.
And in their hierarchy, they would at least respect him a tiny bit.
Right.
More than his companions.
Right, because there are 2 orcs here.
Yeah, and I was thinking it'd be really neat if he could yell at them as if he's some sort of important figure getting chauffeured around.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna do the bullshit rules. This is This is fun. All right, so this is how bullshit works. All right, so the Sweet Move rules apply where we have to vote that it works. And you're going to have to now bullshit these guys while yelling at them from the sunroof of a vehicle that's driving straight at them.
Yep.
Go for it.
So Obi pops up, probably surprising them. He's just like, "Hey, move it! My dad's got an important appointment with the general."
Do we vote that works?
I love it. I am team love it.
Hilarious. It's great.
I also vote that it works. I love this. The three of them all dive out of the way of the vehicle. Stormwood Associates is a production of Nerd and Tie. You can find more information at nerdandtie.com/Stormwood. You can also find us on social media at Nerd and Tie on Twitter, nerdandtie.tumblr.com, and facebook.com/nerdandtie. This podcast can be subscribed to on anywhere that major podcasts are found: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and quite a few other places, and anywhere that takes an RSS feed as well. Hey, while you're still here, let me tell you about another podcast on the Nerd and Tie Network, and that's Let's Be Legendary. Let's Be Legendary, the Feywild West, is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play game. So, an actual play game like this one, but in a system people actually use in the real world. Set in a homebrew Wild West steampunk world, the Feywild West follows two people discovering what it means to be in a relationship, all the while seeking revenge and learning the truth of their pasts. Let's Be Legendary podcast is an LGBTQ+ podcast with both main and minor characters, as well as players falling under the queer blanket. A heavy RP game with a focus on story and characters. And you can hear it every week here on the Nerd and Tie Network, and you can find all of their subscription information and links at nerdandtie.com/legendary.